I'm Phoebe Waller-Bridge, and I'm the writer and performer of Fleabag, of the TV show and the stage show, and co-artistic director of theatre company Drywrite with...
I'm Vicky Jones. I am the director of Fleabag, the stage show, and I'm a writer and director of theatre.
Oh, amazing!
Yeah,
Yes.
It's been exciting.
In some way, it feels like it's what you've been working towards the whole time, is to have that breakout moment. So it does feel like finally, we've come through, and it's been so exciting and just.
Yeah, I mean, we worked for years as a theatre company, so we were designing nights for writers and coming up with ideas that would be exciting and stimulating for lots of different writers to work towards. So. How do you create suspense in your writing, how to make an audience fall in love with a character, and we were developing these ideas through Drywrite, our company, and building up, I think, I don't know, a sense of taste and what we liked and so on. And then it took a while, but eventually Phoebe wrote something which smashed anything else that we'd been working on, and we decided to take it up to Edinburgh, which was Fleabag, the stage show. And that went well, and then the TV show happened, and so yeah, this year's been an incredible year for Fleabag, actually.
It started as a challenge for another night of short plays, and I wrote this 10-minute version of it, and I guess that's where the concept was first born, because it wasn't so much an idea of a play, it was more of a feeling of a character, and the opportunity for me to say some of the things that I'd always wanted to say in front of an audience, and to play with a humour that we really respond to personally. And basically it was our humour, and I basically wrote the first 10 minutes to make Vicky laugh. And,
which did.
And with that being the goal, this character kind of came out, and then in turning it into the full-length play. So it started from the kernel of it being the humour and the fun that I wanted to have with it, and then really digging in to find what's at the heart of this quite cynical, acerbic, broken, funny woman. And that's so it kind of really built, sort of came from the outside in, really.
Yeah.
So there was never a moment when we thought, let's write, or let's develop, or let's make work about female friendships or anything like that. It was just something we knew instinctively that we wanted to write about. So
yeah.
It was just a given that that's what we consider important, and that's what I was driving towards, and just in my instinct to write.
You had the dead best friend right from the beginning.
I had a dead best friend. Good. Yes. Murdering Boo early on.
That was about pushing the character to put her in a position where the worst thing could have happened to her that she could imagine, and it felt like those relationships, like in the TV show, you actually see that relationship between her and Boo. But that came kind of naturally from you trying to create a character that was devastated but covering it up, so it seemed completely fine. And that was very natural, wasn't it, at the beginning, that you had this character who was making loads of jokes and was just almost like a stand-up comedian. But then through the process of the story, her actual experience unravels.
And it was really fun writing about a friendship that has been done before, and that felt familiar, and even though the characters themselves would be unique, it was the killing off of Boo that suddenly made it feel like a different story of friendship, because it's about the loss of a friendship, and what's lost then, and the loneliness, the deep, profound, horrible loneliness of losing somebody who's somebody else by complete chance in the world you have stumbled across. Especially, I think, when this happened, but for us, basically. Well, for me anyway, speak for yourself. But just think the chances of meeting somebody who's like not even related to you or anything, and that you just get each other and they get you and everything's okay, and you're funny suddenly and you're clever suddenly to this person, and then the sunshine comes into your life, and then they get hit by a car, whatever happens in Fleabag. And so I thought, to play with the loss of a friendship rather than the celebration of it.
Boo's a little bit me.
Oh, Boo's completely. In fact, some lines are directly out of her mouth. There's a couple that you didn't even know about until you saw the TV show, and she's like, oh. So normally I ask if it's okay if she said something to me, if I can use it. But most of the most charming lines of Booze were things that Jones had actually said to me.
I think, like, talking about the friendship and what happened between us 9 or 10 years ago meant that we could be really, really honest with each other about our
What
own
happened, meaning that we met and
experiences.
liked each other, not that I shagged your boyfriend or anything.
Yes. So what happened? We killed the man.
What happened between us when she did that?
Is that I checked her boyfriend.
That's something people always ask me as well. Did that happen to you?
Yeah, God. So when we met 9 or 10 years ago, I think that connection and that sort of lovely, brilliant friendship that came out of it meant that we could be really, really honest with each other and just really push each other to say exactly how we felt about things and to really interrogate truths in our lives to the extent that I don't think I would ever have been as honest in any of the things that I've ever written or made without having discussed them with you.
No, me neither.
And I feel like Fleabag comes out of that as well, that sort of, but really how do you feel, and like pushing and getting further and further towards the things that you daren't say to anyone, and then if you finally actually say it to each other, it doesn't sound so bad in the end.
Because it was something that we didn't think we were ever going to do, was take a show up to Edinburgh, and I never thought I was going to write a piece for myself, a one-woman show for myself. It felt like it was something slightly for free, creatively, because I was like, I'm going to be an actress, I'm going to be a director, and we're like, and on the side, and on the side, secretly, we're going to do this play, and we're going to say the things we probably wouldn't say in that other, more kind of self-conscious area of the industry we were trying to work in. And so every single part of writing that show, and the stage and TV, felt about finding those, we can't say that in proper theatre, we can't say that on proper TV.
We both know it's true, but you can't say it.
We know it's true, we know it's funny, but you can't do that. And then we just found this little bubble with the show, and Vicky was just like, do it, say it. And I was like, okay, I'm going
And
to.
sometimes I'd be like, you can't,
Yeah.
and then you would...
Yeah, whenever she panicked, I went, no,
Yeah.
I wasn't doing. But as long as it felt true and truthful to our experiences and to the experience of the character, that we thought it could go in. And in that way, it doesn't feel taboo to us because it feels very true. But that it ruffled feathers is very exciting.
Yeah. And also exciting. But also that, your taste is, and my taste as well, is always to subvert expectations, I think, to stay ahead of an audience. Like Phoebe's got this superpower that means that she can guess what's happening in any film or play, to the extent that it can become quite embarrassing when you're in an audience and she says that out loud. She's always right, and it's shocking how she can sort of read through read subtext if it's not well hidden. So anything that I wrote, and also anything that Phoebe writes, is sort of Phoebe-proof in that way. That you can never see what's coming, and loads of times through Fleabag. What you wrote was to sort of almost to surprise and excite yourself, I think, because that that's what you'd want to watch. You'd want to watch something where you thought you were going that way, but you're going that way, and that the character is constantly staying ahead of you, and yet sort of still taking you on a journey which feels truthful. So that was the kind of sleight of hand trick, I think, that she developed.
Trying to get a kind of Russian doll feeling about the whole thing, that it's a tragedy about family, friendship and sisterhood, just as you say, hidden in a comedy about sex and fun and girl about town. It's like, you think that's what this is about?
Yeah.
Come on in. Was the goal, was to reel people in with that, and it's very satisfying especially when it was being marketed as well. People saying like, oh god, another show about girls doing things, as if it's like a passé thing now. And we were really excited when that response was happening, even when it was coming out, because we were like, yeah, I'm gonna make you feel things, you fucker.
And also I think that the fact that it was about a woman who is struggling with sex and porn and her own self-image and what she's worth to men is something that came later. I think that there's a huge amount of the play in place before you finally realised that, and I remember that you suddenly were like, oh my god, this is about sex, it's all about sex. And there was sort of a moment suddenly where you realised that that was what you wanted and needed to write about, was sort of the delicate and vulnerable relationship that a woman has with her own body and with what it's for, and how that can be corrupted and skewed with porn and all of that.
That was really well said. Thanks. Let's definitely move on to the next question in case I ruin that with something. That in terms of what I ever want to write, the buck stops with Vicky. Like, if it doesn't make Vicky laugh, if it doesn't make her gasp, if it doesn't make her, if it doesn't affect her in some way, then we will fight it out in a really healthy, fun, often pissed way. And it means you can go, we'll have some of our best ideas at midnight at one of our flats, over a glass of wine or something, and that freedom creatively is incredible. And I always feel very safe because I know that at the end of the day, if Jones reads it and likes it, then it's going out. I'll be brave with it.
Yeah, I feel the same, exactly. But it's hard, making work is hard, and it should be, because it's
really hard.
It's really hard. It's such a privileged position to be able to make work that people are going to pay and see, in whatever way, and so you should be dredging your very soul, you should be really reaching into your heart and trying to tell the truth and trying really hard to make people laugh and make it entertaining as well as make it touch them, and putting yourself in the position of that audience and making exactly what you would want to see is
the main thing that we're always coming back to, isn't it? Would we want to watch it?
Ourselves to do.
Yeah.
But Phoebe sometimes gets despondent about work, and so a lot of
shit, I hate it, I hate myself.
She's a massive perfectionist, which is, and I'm more of a trudger, come on, we can do this, keep going.
And works. She just suddenly turns up. When she first gave me her first play, she was like, oh, I've, like how people just write, spend years writing their opus or their plays. She went, oh, I've sort of written a bit of a play. And then she handed it to me, and it was like a full play. And it was the best play I'd ever read. And I was like, what have you done? When did you do this? She's like, oh, I don't know, I just, did it. And then that won the Verity Bargate Award, and then became this and then I made sure that she cast me in it. And then, it was amazing. But you always keep me waiting for the bolt for the blue moment.
I think I'm like, let's put that in for now, placeholder, come back to it, it's okay. And Phoebe's more of a bolt from the blue kind of girl. So nothing is right, it's perfect. And she knows it's perfect, and that's very exciting to work. That's exhausting. But it's really, really exciting to work with. I mean, to be around that work ethic makes you believe the same, that it's never done until it's perfect. And Phoebe works harder than anyone I've ever met.
Also, working together gives you so much confidence, I think, when you have at least someone else's voice in your head as well, because I could scribble something down and go, what about this? And then do Rodent Guy or whoever it is that I was coming up with. And I get that, and I'd be like, tick. Stay. Vic's worked a lot with me on the scripts, turning it into the TV show, but then there had to be a point when, Jones had to go and do her own stuff. Mostly, and then suddenly I had a new director and a new team and new producers and everyone who were fantastic and so brilliant, brought it to life exactly as I dreamed and exactly as we'd worked towards it, but always with that confidence that even when Vicky wasn't there, I know what her instincts would be to a certain degree now. So with a short amount of time together, I can just about wrestle out on my own imagination what you'd probably be saying.
When it reaches the audience, that's the scariest bit, I'd say.
Yeah, failing to grab people, failing to entertain or move people.
Yeah, but you have this hope, this desperate hope that the things that make you laugh and that make each other laugh are going to work, and that there's every chance that people just be like, I don't get it. So that's good. But I think also fear of, if you're writing something really personal, like I've been trying to write something that's really personal, just looking at that laptop and having to go back to it and having to really go into yourself and be honest and find things to say about it that are useful and observant or meaningful in any way, you know, that's hell sometimes. I think everybody that tries to write goes through that. And
you worry sometimes that people are going to read it too personally into you as well, don't you?
Yeah.
She writes so normally something that is particularly outrageous or something.
And but it can be true of me, you know. Yeah.
I was trying to take that, but okay. I was like,
no.
But you worry about your biggest fear is that people might, or like your family might be like.
Yeah, my family. That's a really big one.
The play that Vicky wrote, as well, which was really edgy. And I was flung around a room and borderline raped and was kind of having sex and eating whatsits and you know. Standard, fair.
No nudity,
importantly. No nudity, very important. And indeed. And but you were really scared of your parents coming to see that. But they came out absolutely roaring with laughter and they loved it so much. And when you were like, I was really scared of you seeing that intimate relationship portrayed on stage. And they were like, mate, we've been around. Like, oh, we know. Yeah. And my mum said the same thing about Fleabag. My family, really love it.
You can worry so much about what people think of you, but if you just expect the best of them and give them lots of faith, then they'll rise to it, you know.
I feel a big responsibility to represent female characters truthfully, definitely, and even the darker corners of them. And I think the more truthful you are, then your responsibility is fulfilled.
Yeah, I think as you grow up, you always feel like you want to talk to younger women about what is important in the end, and you know how it feels to be a bit older, and what stays with you and what doesn't, and that you know you're worth more than the media is telling you, so absolutely, you know, I think you have to be responsible for all of those things in everything that you say and make. But at the same time, you know, it's okay to make lots of things and to talk in lots of different ways, and we just need more women talking about everything, really, I think, because there's not enough.
And I think anyone writing people should feel the responsibility that they're portraying them truthfully, and that the stories that are told with heart and I believe always a little bit of hope, and I don't really like things that don't have any hope.
Yeah.
Even though the stories that are told, because I think that's what inspires people to change. I think even when you show people a very bleak story, even with Fleabag, you know, you can go really dark, but I think the responsibility I feel is that you have to bring them back.
Yeah, I think when you're feeling bleak, the temptation is to be bleak and to just be like, well, that's what the world is, you know. And it's really it's good not to do that, to take them through a lot of things, but to in the end kind of come out with a sense of hope, like you say, and that it's going to be all right. We were kind of frustrated about leadership or articulation of what it feels like to be a woman and feminism and so on, to the extent that women were moving away from even calling themselves one. But it's a lot better now, and I think a lot more people are talking now, and there's the Guilty Feminist podcast and some really great TV with women talking about those things, chewing gum and so on. And people using the word feminist so much more, so I think I feel really positive about that.
And the building women in the media up and then knocking them down, it's not going to work forever, because there are more and more and more women coming out, and loads of them will just keep bouncing back, and eventually it's just going to become so exhausting for the people who are trying to shoot them down that they'll be too knackered in the end. We've just got to keep coming back up, and also just keep making work. I think that's what we always say to each other, just keep making work, because your audience will find you. Fuck the media if they're not on your side after a while. You know, you've got to keep making the work, because people respond to work, they don't respond to your public persona as much as people think they do. I think it's the work people go to. Louis C.K. had a big impact on me. His show did. Jennifer Saunders, adored Jennifer Saunders, and always have been very inspired by Eddie from Ab Fab. I remember thinking it was outrageous when I saw it when I was younger, but I went back to go and watch the original episodes quite recently, and it was, even if it came out now, it would still be outrageous. It's so fucking funny.
Yeah.
And those characters are just sublime. So yeah, Jennifer Saunders.
Kristen Wiig.
Kristen Wiig. The airplane scene. Sometimes we just watch that together, don't we?
Yeah. Abby and Alana from
Broad City. Love them. No, wait. I have this with me. Now I'm sounding like I've got ingredients I prepared earlier.
like a cookie.
Okay, no, I did actually have this in my dressing room. It's Absolutely Fine by Ruby Elliott, and it's just the most heartbreaking, incredible book about depression and just feelings of all sorts, and I just have loved it. And our stage manager Shah here as well walked in, and I was like, look at this book, and she picked it up, and she had so much to do, and she was like, oh, and then honestly I saw her like 20 minutes later, and I saw like, reading it. So she didn't really prep for the show because she was so in love with the book.
I want to read it now. It's amazing.
Yeah, it's incredible.
My play Touch is going to be on here, and I'm directing it as well, so that's exciting. And that's a Drywrite production with the Soho, and it's about a girl who moves to London and has a series of experiences with individuals, and is kind of trying to search, I think, for who she is and what she wants and how to make a connection with somebody. It's kind of about what happens when your personality is quite well developed and you're trying to get into a relationship, but you're realising that you don't want all the things that kind of come with a relationship and come with that kind of connection. And
still in the process of kind of writing it as well, which
yes.
is why that happened.
Yes, that's what happened, because it's changing at the moment, and the reason it's changing is because I really struggled to finish it for a long time, and because it was really, really personal, and it was very much about kind of stuff that I was going through at the time, and now I'm starting to get some perspective on that, and hopefully it'll come through all of that. But it's really exciting to be a Drywrite production, because it means that Phoebe's involved, even though she's not going to be in it, sadly, because she's too busy.
Well, no.
Leading nicely on to what you're doing next week.
A new show called Killing Eve, which is an 8-part drama about a psychopathic female assassin, which is really fun, and Vicky's writing on that as well. Vic's writing 2 episodes of that, and so we suddenly have quite a proper writer's room.
We do.
Which has been...
Like Americans.
Yeah, like Americans. Being like Americans, which has been brilliant fun and a completely new challenge, I think, doing a drama like that, or just basically just that amount of time on screen. But it's just very different. But it's so exciting, and these characters are badass and fucked up. And
yeah, it's going to be incredible.
And so beautiful people. So
yeah, we're storylining that at the moment. And we're writing a film together.
Yes, writing a film together.
That's all we are saying about that. Yeah.
Well, we definitely want to have a production company. We're talking about that, and want to keep creating theatre, and start commissioning new playwrights and start working with new writers.
Yeah. And
just constantly wanting to write and work with new exciting people, and just have a go at bloody everything.
Yeah.
Really, I think.